Yep. Don't I look like a winner? Sheriff stopped by at about 2:20. I don't know if I should have opened my door or not. If he would have put the paperwork on my door or what. Of course, they don't seem to care. I put possible human trafficking is going on here. It's being ignored, so that should tell us all that there's definitely something going on here. I already knew. When I went out and I used the hot tub and I heard that baby screaming, and then I've heard 2 adults screaming. And I had a friend of me with me when she heard one screaming. The 3rd time I heard it, I think. I was by myself, and she looked at me and said, "You're right." It didn't sound like maybe a boyfriend scaring their girlfriend, or anything like that. But now I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do. I just called whatever public defender. David himself answered the phone, I guess, because he said, "This is David." He didn't say, "This is David, and you've reached my office," or no, it's not even bringing up his number. Orange County, okay, that must have been it. Orange County Public Defender. Closes soon, 5 p.m. I just called. He said he'd call me back. $5.4 miles. A public defender is a lawyer who represents people charged with a crime who can't afford to hire a private attorney. Public defenders are appointed by the court and paid pastors. You might be eligible if you can't afford or are facing serious criminal charges. The court appoints public defenders to represent defendants. That's the last number I just called for David Stein. And he said he'd call me back. And then I probably should have been recording this before I did that. Because that's all anybody wants to do is keep lying to me. Even these stupid little lies like, "Yeah, I'll call you back." Because then nobody does. Whatever, that fair housing. Get to anybody there. I tried calling it last year and it's the same thing. It just tells you, "Oh, you have won a life alert," and then you're like, "What the hell is?" I mean, to begin with, I was like, "What the heck is this? Why is this even coming up?" It was the same thing last year. In fact, I think I did take a video of it. Of course, I've been meaning to make the thumbnails different so it's a little easier for me. And then I wasn't really titling anything. By the way, hi, whoever you are. But, it's a worthless number, you can call it. And then, like, I tried to hit pound or whatever to get through, you know, to the end of whatever the garbage was, and then, like, an automated, very, you know, I was able to get to something, but then it said, well, here's this number now, and it just brings you back to the same garbage. Free life, you've won a free life alert. But then that's when I started hitting 0 to go through, and then it gives you different, like, life insurance, car insurance, this other kind of crap. And you don't get to talk to anybody. But what was weird is I did call a different number, and I talked to somebody for and she gave me the number to go to all that crap. And I mentioned a couple things about my situation, and of course, you know, I'm very sorry, I can't help you, good luck. But now I have no idea when I'm supposed to actually be out of here, because I went to the courthouse, I got the legal detainer thing. It was instantly denied. I don't even think they glanced through it to see that I'd mentioned human trafficking as a possibility. And then that only tells me who's more in on that stuff, because they don't care. They're all getting paid off. In fact, this sheriff that showed up, he basically, you know, rubbed it in my face that, yeah, he lives alone too, but, you know, I have a house. And like, cool, good for you. And then he had 2 letters in each hand. One was, you know, saying Mercy House against Arnell Management, and then Mercy House against me. And then here's where I regret turning this on again, or even taking video. ACLU, you're how I even gotten this, so where are you? Now these people that have lots of money are just paid people to off us all left and right. And all these celebrities that are all of a sudden just dying in their houses, and it doesn't seem like fair play, or, you know, there's foul play. I guarantee you somebody had a key and there was illegal entry. Put it this way, when I was younger, I can't even count how many illegal evictions I've had in my life, especially being just me and homeless, and having people, yeah, you can live with me, and then you need to be out by tomorrow, you know, no 3 days, no nothing, just being like, okay, and then not knowing. But, you know, we had the land people in our house, sitting on our couch, to verbally tell us that we were needing to move out. And we've also had many, many break-ins by the people that own everything, and you can tell, because no forced entry means they had a key. And I need to get on my computer and see how I can fix Susie Cat so she can be in mod again. If anything, I need help getting somewhere else, because I don't know, and they all know that. everybody from Laguna Beach, most of them are dead now. This program was to enable people. And I've been in it almost 10 years. And like I said, this is my 8th freaking apartment of them doing the same stuff over and over. But whatever happened with upstairs, apparently that's being used against me even more now, making me a criminal. I've never been involved with any law shit till this place. I don't know. It's like I know that it was a setup from the beginning, but for whatever that. Creeps like Diddy can own fucking 50 fucking houses and beat up whoever they want and fucking murder whoever they want. Nothing's done. Well, I can't even fucking find a house or, you know, be put in a housing program to just be harassed and fucked with the whole time. And then have constant proof that obviously case management is friends or somehow knows the property managers, and then the property managers obviously somehow have friends, and then you can see where it's all tied together. Friends, family, whatever. And then this place, you know, by the way, there's $500 off your rent if you want to move in here. Nobody gives a shit that maintenance illegally showed up and knocked on my door with no notice. And then the one that lied about even knocking on my door called another one here, 29-year-old Adrian. Hi, how are you? How many girls have you gotten to fucking show you their tits for $20 in the last fucking however many months since you did it to me? Mm-hmm. Yeah. No 24-hour notice. Maintenance showed up. I just happened to be barricaded in this back room. I couldn't just walk through this door because I had this cooler. I moved him over here. Anyways, there was a cooler sitting. But it was all the way up here on top of a bunch of boxes. It took me almost a week to get to it. Because I thought I had paperwork that I needed. And then that's another thing. Like, half of the stuff in here is evidence. Because I guarantee that they've drugged people. I can't not keep getting bit by spiders either. Because that guy, and then sprayed him. This back building though, I'm pretty sure they're keeping it empty and not doing whatever scandalous crap they've been until I'm gone. All I know is I've been used something crazy weird. I mean, at one point I even heard a baby fall out of a high chair upstairs. That was at the Buena La Vista, and I know what I heard because it, you know, did boom boom. It's like, here, I know what I heard up there. I heard a baby hit the floor, climbing out of their high chair because it was in the dining room, you know, because there are mirror images, right? Starts crying, bawling. I know what I heard. And as usual, it's not even legal to live in. There's 8 apartments, not one has been up to legal code. You know, no cracks in the walls, yeah, whatever. Weather stripping, disintegrated, gone. That's what this is. Everybody wants to fucking automatically, you know, hey, there's a treatment center down the street, or this or that's not what this is from. This is from gnats. Look, I was at the courthouse and I had 2 of them fly right in my face, and I actually caught one of them. I actually caught it. I know my live streams aren't that exciting. I was hoping that they would be a little bit happy, you know, hey, good news. There is shady shit going on, and all I know is that they were hoping that I was exactly everything that they profiled me to be. Promiscuous, drug addict. They were hoping I would have OD'd by now on my own, or like I said, almost everybody else that was housed by this program is dead. In fact, one of my acquaintance friends, her boyfriend, or she was in jail. He let me stay with him, and he was very respectable, even though, you know, he'd say, you know, no innuendoing things, which they can't. None of these guys can't say shit to me or eventually get mad at me because I won't sleep with them or do anything with them. Like, there was a Polish guy that I met through one of my neighbors. He OD'd. I saved his life, and then a week later he called me a man-hater. I haven't talked to him in a couple years, though. But I messaged Wojtek, the Polish dude that I met through him, a picture of a lighter that he gave me. Because I still have it. It says fucktard on it. Fucktard, get your own. He'd be like, oh, I have some gifts for you, and he shows up and he gives me a few things, and I'm pretty sure he works at an Amazon warehouse and steals from there. He even brought me a bed mattress, but of course, to be defect, it has to be messed up enough. Well, I guess him and who, maybe he got help, I don't know, they made it dirty and whatever enough to be considered defect, and then he brought it to me, and I was just like, no, I'll keep sleeping, because, you know, after driving however far with it on the top of his car, which I appreciated the effort he went into it, but it's just like, no, I have enough skin problems to be sleeping on something that's been, you know, walked on and thrown in the dumpster and, you know, made to be defective so that they could throw it away, so that they could, you know, take it without getting in trouble and then bring it to me. I'm sorry, no thank you. Anyways, I started talking to him right before my birthday. And then I blocked him. Like, I blocked him for the second time. And I told him he's not welcome here at all. He should know he's not welcome here at all. But he kept telling me, you know, you used me and you played me, and all those gifts I brought you that someone would have showed me that they appreciated them. We already know what he's talking about, don't we? Good. And then where's my... And then for some reason right now, I was gonna start taking video with this Samsung. I'm on my iPad right now. I mean, look. I've never seen that anyways, it won't let me do anything until it dies and I turn it back on. And it's at 37%. I'm impressed with the battery on that phone. It's been sitting for like almost a week. And like I say, it's 37%. And now I can't even reset it or turn it off. See, and then no phone call back. It's after 5. And recording it. It's time. Thank you so much for calling me back. So I called at 4:39. Of course, it was one of those, this phone call will be recorded for quality assurance. Anyways, sheriff showed up, did his thing. I guess it was a wellness check, I don't know. He didn't let me see either of the papers he was holding, but I know that they're exactly what I already have. Which, like I said, it just made it like, what the hell's going on? But I'm starting to think that Arnell Management was the one that fucking started the Mercy House program to cover their asses, because they're the, yes. Everything I've said is totally accurate and true as far as I know. Especially with what I heard upstairs here. Like, people came in, there was no chit chat, but all I heard is somebody, you know, walk, and then right above my head while I was live streaming, it sounded like somebody had a hand put over their mouth, and that was all I heard. That was at like 10:30, 11 in the morning. And then throughout the day, I was on live stream all day. I even plugged this in. I think I did. I had to have, you know, I don't remember how the live stream ended. But that was the first time I went to jail, was that night. Because I was stupid. I did call the police to begin and said, I don't know what's going on upstairs, but, you know, but I actually went over to neighbors to have them call the police for me. Now what's really weird is that they got thrown out too. There's something really fucked up going on here. And the whole beginning of this Mercy House thing, it was a cover-up for so much. Obviously, we know that now, right? Because I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I didn't even get to move it, you know, I'm still going through organizing my stuff, trying to find things. Trying to keep my goldfish from dying, but obviously these people don't care about anything like that either. So, anyways, no call back from Mr. David's time. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't even know. My case manager came here and gave me a bus pass yesterday. But now I don't even know if he's really my case manager, and if they're pretending just to keep me chill. Because, you know, they put suicidal on my court documents. I'm not, but I can't. But that's, again, you can see the setup here. I know that's what they're hoping I do. But either they've been trying to get to me personally to ship me off to fucking, I don't know what, or I have something that somebody that works there wants. None of them are doing their real jobs. They can't, none of them can seem to make a good moral decisions on their own and, you know, be like, hey, yeah, you're right, this isn't right, you know, something does sound wrong, we're just running with it still, because we know. Obviously they all know. And again, don't really care. But anyways, I have this plugged in, my iPad. My friend Tony's supposed to come after traffic chills out. They've all known this whole time I'm by myself, which obviously also made me the perfect target. The place I was last, they intentionally got me mixed up with a girl 3 doors away whose last name is Heather Ann, and then they put her last name on my paperwork, but then it just so happens that she's actually been to prison several times. Yeah, I friended them for a minute. She was even asking me how to cast spells to make her boyfriend or whatever, like, you know, how can I get, you got any spells that I can cast? No, I don't do that crap. And then that's after the place I was right before that had a male witch living 3 doors away from me, Charlie Adams. Told me he was basically a hoe, man hoe. So I started calling him a Jippo Jigalock. But even that one, and the day I was moving out of there, he was in front of my case management and everybody there telling me to quit casting spells and shit. I'm just, do that shit. There could be hidden cameras on me all day and you would see that I'm not doing anything that I'm not doing in front of everybody. And the time, and maybe play with myself, whatever. That's rare anymore. Not even maybe once a month. And one of my friend's roommates, she sent me that. Trying to be funny. No, I don't know when but now, considering the paperwork to double set said the 24th and then the 25th, I don't know when I have to actually be out of here now. And apparently the judge or whoever I did the detainer, or like the detain whatever, they didn't even acknowledge that I wrote possible human trafficking on there. And again, they don't even care that maintenance illegally showed up, and I shouldn't have let them in. She said, well, I wasn't notified 24 hours prior, so I'm sorry, I can't let you in. That was when the water wasn't working at all in the bathtub, though. Now there's a whole new fixture in there because there wasn't anything wrong, right? And thanks for calling me back, David. And then obviously if I call YouTube, I can't call, because there's video of everything that happened the day I went to jail at 2 something in the morning. And then shots were fired. But when I researched the 2 shots being fired, I ended up the first thing that was listed happened like 7 years ago in 2014, where a male and a female were found on the highway with gunshot wounds or some shit. I don't know. It was very short. It wasn't even professional, but I found it. But I was laying on the floor in the jail when I heard, 2 shots, and I stood up, and it was so, they looked, the 2 or 3 cops that were there around the radio turn and look at me, and I'm just like, and laid back down. Try to time I'm by myself. I have 3 friends that visit me once in a while. It has been a little bit more often lately, considering what's been going on. And then they know, too. Because the same people housing them, evicting them. My friend Marlena, she just got done being evicted. She was looking at buying a motorhome. I don't know if I can live with anybody, especially anybody that at some point wants to argue and fight with me about stupid shit. It's happened once in a while. I've had to ask. Go back to the courthouse tomorrow, or what is today? Wednesday, yeah, it's a weekday, so I said my case manager showed up yesterday and gave me a bus pass. Now I don't even know if he's actually my case manager, just pretending. I don't know, and then why? Because we all knew we were doing fucked off shit to you to begin with. Hoping you'd fucking be gone already, I was supposed to get help filling out some, to be put in Section 8 so I could go back home. That was like 5 years ago. And then case manager after case manager after case manager, when I noticed that, something needs to be fixed. I'm not supposed to fix it myself. And then they try to tell me that, oh, well, it looks fine. And I've already done all my research. I've even done it myself already. No, I'm being lied to every time. I'm sorry, this body makes everybody act stupid, I guess, All of a sudden it's like, oh, I need to lie. I need to be scumbag to this person. It's not my job, but just for you it is to not do my job. But now it seems like every one of these that I'm in, they know because they've been in on it. Helping cars disappear, fucking being part of the barbecues, making bodies I don't fucking know, but I just know that every time I mention to anybody that there's padlock marks on the fucking bathroom door, on the closet, and on the front door, their faces just go like, what? That's weird. Not one person hasn't fucking gotten a funny look on their face and said that's weird. I felt weird in this place before I started noticing any of it. I asked for reasonable accommodation because so far the last 2 apartments that I have been moved into, I was told I had to or I would be removed from the program. So I didn't have any choice of where I was going. And obviously, I have no privacy because I have to do this in order to fucking prove to everyone else or anyone else that this is actually what I was doing. And this is what I'm most of the time doing. You know, trying to get my apartment in some type of livable order so that I'm not, you know, falsely profiled any more than I already have been the whole entire time since the day I got to Laguna Beach. And tried getting a job there for 2 weeks until somebody was like, you know, oh, hey, what are you doing? And I finally started kind of talking to people there. And it's like, well, I've been trying to find a job in town and, you know, da-da-da-da, not knowing. But this person tells me, well, you haven't put this address, have you? Talking about the ASL, the shelter in Laguna Canyon, right next to the dog park where I was at for like 2, 3, 4 years. Along with Friendship Shelter in Laguna Beach. He was like, well, you didn't put this address, did you? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, nobody's gonna hire you if you put this address. And I'd already been through everywhere in town. Even when I got into Friendship Shelter, you know, and I actually got a couple jobs, the only jobs I was able to get were not in Laguna Beach. I was the Easter Bunny in 2012 at Newport Beach. I was there the whole duration of that job. And that was right after working at Togo's. You know, I had to pay. They did a background check on me to get the Easter Bunny job. I got it. I have so many things I need to do. I don't want to do any of it now. I've been out of milk a couple days. I haven't even wanted to do that. I'm scared to leave and have them lock me out and then have no access to anything I need. Because apparently they'll do it because they don't care. Everything they've done to me day one has been illegal. I can't get any help to stop it. Or, you know, or to do it. Everything I would need, we would need. I feel sick. My cat. That's what they've been hoping this whole time too. Is I just get depressed and kill myself because, you know, now I'm suicidal according to them. Well, that's not happening. But I don't doubt that, you know, they've got something planned, you know, to, you know, help that along. Considering they've already put it in my paperwork. know, not just that. They know that evicting me puts that against me, and that it will just make it harder for me to actually find somewhere else to live. So then there's that. Thank you for your visit. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I just want to go home, and then I don't even want to go home. Cause like 9/10 of everybody in my life there is no better. Sorry, is what it is. And then I can't put anything in the background because I'll get copyright struck and then they'll pull my video. But now I need to get a hold of YouTube so I can get a copy of the live stream I did the day I went to jail. The day before I went to jail. Excuse me. This is allegedly my new case manager. If anybody comes across this video and you can help me, help him to stop whatever's going on and give me more time, because until I get the letter from the courthouse being denied and a new date, I don't know anything that's going on. I don't, except the main gist of it, to cover their asses and to make people disappear and get them out of here, but make it look like it was all them. And then I don't want to but then this is the only way I've been able to prove, you know, what I am doing while they're doing whatever to try and set me up to throw me out every time. Because Starla Edner, and then it took me a minute to think about it, because she said I came out after her and charged at her when I did no such thing. I did not leave my apartment. I just woke up. I was still in my pajamas, probably half naked, and I just thought of that in the freaking last week. Yeah, I came out running out after you. Bullshit. I said, what a bitch, and shut my door. And then half an hour, 45 minutes later, my case management shows up going, what's wrong, blah, blah, blah. Like, what do you mean, you know? And they're asking me if I'm okay, and this is... And then I took video of when they showed up trying to evict me that time, too. And that's when I was given this place or another place. And then the other place, they changed their mind. I don't know what happened there. And then I was put here. The other place, though, everything would have fit just fine because it's been the same layout as most of the other apartments. So I'm guessing Arnell Management's been the number one that was involved in putting Mercy House, you know, creating Mercy House. Non-profit corporation. How do those
how does nonprofit and corporation even work? Because then I just hear, yeah, that's a lie, instantly. Nonprofit, my ass. Yeah. I'm in my right mind at all times, but yeah, I'm severely weirded out because of all this. They don't even care that their maintenance offered me money to see my child. I don't remember exactly what he is wording, because yeah, whoa. Most nobody can believe that when I tell it. And then when anybody who fucking knows me, when I tell them, they're just like, whoa. And then knowing that I didn't do it, or I had $20, I guess, to prove, you know. But then he showed up 4 more times over the course of the weekend. I think I remember I mentioned in another live stream, he asked me if I'd ever given a foot job before. Pretty sure I don't need to elaborate what the fuck that means. Yeah, he had his hands on my feet. And yeah, interestingly, for the last few days, I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack. You know, chest pain, this and that. But I'm pretty sure it has something to do with all the mold around the windows and the door. And you can pretty much bet that that's nothing fucking new here. Anybody that's lived in anything with the single pane windows where it gets fucking moldy as fuck. The sliding glass door is the worst of all of it. Even my friend Marlena, when she looked at it, she's like, oh my god, look at the bottom. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And her too. Nothing new. Sure, this place has been getting moldy since the day it was built. It sure as hell was not 1988. Maybe the other from halfway forward towards Baker Street was. But this, no, this is way before 88. Way before 88. So again, they've lied about things to cover up. You know, in fact, I think this is probably 3 different, you know, freaking, oh, this is old, we're supposed to tear it down, but hey, let's just mask it, you know, because literally right behind this place is one of the freaking, for when it floods, and then on the other side of that, freaking like freeway. It's a major hub for, you know, because I live in the middle of a triangle of freeways. South Point Apartments. And then every single number of apartment they've put me in, I know that's not an accident, you know. If anybody knows anybody who can help, if there's any of my internet friends where you can help it, you know. They succeeded in murdering my mom. Of course, my family was helping there. I know they were. And my mom does too. She knows that they were talking to her on the internet. And that also explains why there was a fake account. You know, somebody made an account of me living in Oregon, working at a car wash. I bet if you went and you could find the IP address of whoever created that account, that I actually emailed or, you know, messaged and asked, you know, how is it possible that we have the same first, middle, and last name and we're the same exact age? Because when I told my mom this, she said no. I just said, hey, Mom, what are the odds of somebody name birthday? She said, no, that's not likely. I felt the same way. And then when I wrote them, they would not write me back. I bet everybody on this planet anything that my first cousin either did it or his mother did it. Or my cousin James Annie, piece of shit. His fucking wifey girlfriend thing was somebody created a fake account with me to fucking get behind my mom's back. And we're supposed to be all buddy again talking. I don't hear from any of them. They've acted like family just long enough to fucking take everything. And then it just so happened when I was staying at the hotel in KatClass, somebody died while I was there. The prosecuting attorney and the coroner, same guy. Just so happens here, the sheriff or one is also the coroner. I know as if anything happens to me, and they try and say it was something, I guarantee you it wasn't something. And my poor fish. She looks so good. Whatever was going on with the water, because yeah, you can actually kind of see through it still. There's something very wrong with the water here. That's all Brita water. It took me like an hour to fill that 10-gallon tank with Brita water. But I haven't had to clean her as much. I know I don't know. I know my name. I don't know it. But that's how I know I'm a carrier probably of the warrior gene too, because no matter how fucking whatever I get, I can generally make the best decision that I know I need to make, you know? Made it this far. I made it this far without going to jail until whatever the fuck these people were doing. The night I heard somebody fucking upstairs get their, hand put over them. That's all I heard. And then I got false police reports up the ass now too. And you can tell it's false because once you fucking start reading it, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And then of course that's where I need to get to YouTube so I can get the video that they suppressed, my live stream. Does anybody know or had the same thing happen where you just happen to be live streaming and then they suppress the whole entire thing? Like it doesn't say, your video is, has been restricted in some territories. That's exactly what it says. They just straight fucking, because they're helping cover stuff up too. Hi, thank you for your visit. I was hoping that these streams would be happier and not as by now, but reality TV, as reality as it gets, unlike, scripted Kardashian shit, Because the reality of it there is nobody would know who the fuck she was if she wasn't a hoe and let that fucking video escape on accident. No way. And then all I can say is thank you, BTS, for taking over the internet so we're not having to look at, big old Kardashian butts or anything for a while. all these things I need to do, and now I don't want to do any of it. I should take a shower, but I don't feel like it. And then I've got all this shit sitting in my bathtub. So I forget that, oh yeah, I can't even take a shower right now this second anyways, unless, you know, I've got the gravel, the rock sitting from my 29-gallon tank. It's sitting, there's 2 buckets in the bathtub right now because I was rinsing it out night before last. I got so tired, I just couldn't stay up anymore. So about halfway through rinsing the rock out, I went to bed. Thank you for your visit. Dear Susie, sorry I haven't looked into fixing the moderation thing. They didn't even care to hear my side. All I know is that I've been getting gang stalked the whole time. No. Obviously, it's the only way they can get away with it for so long. Obviously, because people up in the positions that would hand in hand, aiding and abetting is what that's called. So now, pretty much, if I could say, anybody who's ignored me and sided with anyone else has been aiding and abetting everything that's been illegal, including bringing apart, I got to listen to them put a breaker box upstairs in the last place I was at 2:30 in the morning. Even here I was standing downstairs going, really? Really? 2:30 in the morning? And then when I noticed people were moving in, I talked to them. I gave them my phone number. There was no problem. They didn't seem too hip on wanting to talk gamers. In fact, I told my friend's mom, I was like, I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to ask him, on top of giving them my phone number, you played mostly consoles or PC? PC. But I asked them if I could look around, and I took video and pictures. And sure enough, brand new fucking breaker box. I only heard them put it in. But I didn't realize until last couple days when I pulled the paperwork from the jail out and looked at, and then obviously I look, I'm barely grinning, and I'm just like I am right now. And then the first holding cell they put me in, I actually had 2 spiders crawling on my face, right on the floor. I asked to go to the restroom. I was helped to go to the restroom. And then they didn't put me back in the same holding cell. They put me in another one. And then I never actually went into the jail. They just kept me in the holding cell the whole time. And then they took me to a mental health facility, and I spent the rest of the day there. And then they told me that they were going to let me go, and I was like, so, am I they were actually just gonna put me out. I had been arrested in nothing but a skirt, a shirt, you know, my underclothes, and my socks. And you know what piercing stuff I might have had. And I even had a freaking handcuff key around my neck that nobody noticed or didn't care to notice. I don't know. Anyways, here it is. Still don't believe in psychics? No, I do, because here I am. Predicted everything 10 years ago. And then longer than that, I told everybody we'd be legal again. Everybody said never. Most everybody said never. 24 states, maybe even 25 or 26 by now since the last time I looked. Because I'll tell you right now, California, the city, the state, and the federal are getting, you know, and federal, they take these two, with the city and the state get together, that's what the federal's been taking. So if like the city's taking $250 for tax and then the state's taking $250 for tax, the federal is taking $10. But they don't call it the federal, they call it an excess. Now think about all the people that are sitting in jail for non-violent crimes that only deal with marijuana, and that somebody said that they were going to let them out, and they haven't. California is known as a prison state because it has more prisons than any other state. You know, honestly, I gotta say, I'm probably one of the best people I've seen crying. It is pretty ugly, but I make it look kinda good, right? Tony should be here. And then my friend Marlena, she came over a few days ago. We went roller skating, and yeah, I crashed like 2 or 3 times. Yeah. I borrowed rental. She helped me with a pair of rental skates, and you can tell the bearings need to be done really bad. Because as soon as I start going fast, you know, I kept wrecking. Even after I caught myself, I still wrecked. It was really fun though. I mean, yeah, my wrist was pretty gnarly, so you can still barely see the, yeah, there you go. It was a lot darker than that day before yesterday. And I had a blue spot right here, pop, you know, a little pop out. Obviously you can still see but it was a lot prettier yesterday, earlier yesterday. A couple really bright red spots. But, and then like 5-10 times my friend Marlena kept asking me if I wanted to go to the hospital. I don't think I need to go, but it is possible. Let's wait. And then after a while she was with me, you know, on it. She's like, yeah, I don't think you need to go to the hospital either. It's just bruised. It's like I had a reverse toe pick. I spun around backwards. I almost lost it. And then I was like, ooh. And then, like, not even a tenth of a second after I caught myself, I still fucking flew backwards. And then I landed on my elbow, and then, or I hit here first, and then my elbow, because my elbow still hurts too. Let's see that. Yeah. Yeah, it's still swollen too. Anyways, see, now that was my fault. And I even meant to grab my my knee pads and my hand stuff, you know, knee pads, elbow pads. Good idea. But instead of wrecking almost 10 times the first time I'd gone, and long, you know, and I was even wearing men's skates. You know, they were gray and purple. My friend assumed they were women's skates. They were, you know, they're a men's 9, not a women's 9. And then I wear a women's 7, so that should tell you how much bigger they were. I wore them anyways, and it did pretty well for how much bigger they were. And then my friend, she helped me get a pair of rental skates after I was like, yeah, I can't wear those anymore. Which I should have, you know, done that at the beginning. But she let me borrow her rollerblades for a second, because she brought a couple pair of skates, and those, just after what I'd already done to myself with the initial, those hurt really bad. It might have been better had I started out with those. But then I got a pair of rentals and, you know, was able to have fun, like, you know, be kind of normal the last hour or so, or whatever. And then all these times I want to look for, I would like to be able to walk over to this advanced auto parts and try my hand there, because it's right there. I don't even have to cross any streets to get there. And then here this shit starts happening, and it's like, okay, well, I'm glad I didn't go out, you know, and try to get employed anytime soon, because now who knows where the fuck I'm even gonna be if I, you know, not able to give 2-week notice, or, you know, or be lucky to have the employer work with me to where I could even come back, which I can go back to AutoZone. As far as I know, it was left open. Even one of my friends, when I got that job, she was like, Kat, you got your dream job. I was like, yeah. And then lately I can't keep from not, like, hurting myself to where I have to not do anything, you know, other than, like, you know, go to the bathroom, feed me, you know, the things that I need to do that everybody needs to do every day: eat, sleep, go to the restroom. Even the night after we got back from skating, because I had ice on my hand for 2 days. I couldn't do anything. I had to stop messing with this. And I know I'm a whiny wreck right now. Trust me. I know. I'm sorry. I know how sorry. And then here's where all I can say is I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to do more for myself to help any of you that need help. Because I really thought that this whole mess that I was in right now, being able to prove that, you know, they just up the rent for what? And then they don't even fix anything. Like, half the stuff in here should have been replaced 20 fucking years ago. Here it is. Screwed the breaker box shut on me? Illegal number 1. No 24-hour notice before showing up. And then being wishy-washy, you know, and then lying to my face. whatever. I feel sorry for any of their girlfriends. Any of them. Because if they're lying to do shit like this to a little somebody they don't even know, I can imagine they're doing the same. Telling people that they love them, but obviously they don't give a fuck. Just saying it to say it. They don't even love themselves enough. You know, whatever, you know what you're doing. You know what you did. Doesn't matter what, you know, anyone else, you know, what any of your coworkers, anybody know. You know. You know that you're not doing your jobs correctly. You know you've been lying about me. And you know that, and then you all know each other. Go back in some of my videos. Like where there's fucking, I'm finding out shit at the last second because I didn't listen to my voicemail for like 2 weeks. You know, Unity College, what were all the cops doing there? And I'm like, what the fuck? I called an ambulance, and of course shows up while I'm gone, leaves a written note on my door. We showed up at blah, blah. Thanks. You never show up when you say you're going to. You always show up. And then when I have no idea you're going to, you know, like I'll be taking live stream, and then, okay, check it out. They're supposed to be here at 2. Let's make a phone call. I call them. Oh, we're on our way there right now. It's 20 minutes to 11. Thought you said you were going to be here at 2. Oh, well, you know. It's in one of my videos. Starlet Etner, when I was supposed to write a list of everything wrong with the apartment and take it to the Dropbox, I took video of me taking it and dropping it off in the Dropbox just to turn around and say, I bet she says she doesn't get it. My case management on the day of the fucking, you know, this stupid half-ass fucking little inspection, she said she didn't get it. For me to say, that's funny, I took video of me writing and, you know, filling it out and putting it in your box. Well, then she goes, well, it wasn't filled out. Elizabeth, one of the case managers, was there that day. She caught that. It's also the same woman that lied and said that I came out and after her and I charged her. But, and then neighbors were afraid to let their kids out. But here I am at this skating rink, getting little high fives from kids, you know. They flat out lied. And then 5 cops showed up and tried luring me out of my apartment. Before this time, I'd never been to jail. Never. Except to visit somebody. And that was here. And that was like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years ago. Shout out to Doug DeFresh. And then, you know, he's been out and housed since then. And he's messaged, call me now, you know, call me now. Yeah. I still haven't called him. Nobody tells me what to do. And especially not like that. But there were times in Laguna Beach where I thought we were cool and crossing and fuck you, bitch. And it was like, yeah, you have a nice day too, homie. I still went and visited him in jail. Because he was, you know, he pled guilty. You know, he was sleeping in the same parking lot. Somebody got close to him, said something, he just hopped up and knocked him out. That's why he went to jail. And when I went to visit him, I told him, why did you do that? Because you shouldn't even have been there. Nobody should be there. Because now they make everybody homeless, but then you have nowhere to go. So they keep harassing you and harassing you until you end up in jail, you know, or
fucking told you all I knew what was going on. Told you I knew what they were doing and what this was all about, and it wasn't helping anybody except themselves. To not get caught doing all the illegal shit that they've all been doing for decades. Since before I was born. Because I guarantee you this apartment I'm in right now was built before I was born. When I looked up in 88 my ass. No fucking way. And then they've got those square steel beams out here as railing for the stairs. You know, that's thick steel. How long does it take for holes to show up in that? Rust holes, you know, disintegrating. It's disintegrating now because that's how old it is. And then if you look at the bottom of each one of these posts, it's the same thing. There's rust coming out from under the paint. Most of them are cracked. There's been a few people to see this AC unit. Nobody's ever seen this kind of AC unit. Of course, they're intentionally loud inside and outside. But now, here I am, not knowing, because apparently when I went to the courthouse and did the detainer thing, everything got stopped, but now everybody's just fucking itching, waiting for when they can come and fuck with me some more and throw me out. And throw all my stuff in the trash, whatever they don't want. And then they'll just have one of their cousins or uncles that works for the fucking waste management, you know, they'll make sure that all my stuff gets neatly thrown in a dumpster just so they can take it to the local Goodwill and make money on it. And I know that if I could have sold half of the stuff in this apartment that I've been intending to, if I could have found it and, you know, other than trying to worry about myself and being at all comfortable, because as you can see, you know, I finally, one of my online, she's like, oh, you can see the floor. How long it took me to make it so I could even go like this, and then like I hit what's on my door and this thing. Well, fuckheads and sickos like Diddy have fucking 20 mansions and who knows what the fuck else, right? He's able to give Bieber a Lamborghini. I feel 75% bad for Bieber. Because I won't bend over for anybody. I won't suck no dick to get ahead. Even for a little $20. But they still falsely profile me and assume that, you know, that's how I've gotten this far. It's like, oh, you're this old. You've made it, you've had to have done this and that to even still be here. Mm-hmm. Thank you for your visit. how can I stop them from doing whatever until I can find somewhere else to go? Anybody? Because I'm not just hurting me, I'm hurting my kitty cat too. One of my fish already died. Actually, two of them. That's a pretty girl. She's so beautiful. She doesn't like being held, but I can get away with it for a minute. Disgusting. I can't stop crying no matter what I do. What, you want me to keep holding you? Hmm? Purr, purr, purr. All of you readers, you tapped in already. You know everything. 100% correct. And most of you will know because I commented. Or at least liked it. Cat butt. Cat butt. What are you gonna do? Little claws. Careful them claws. Please don't claw me in the neck. Let's see where her foot is. Did you hear both? If you heard both of my knees pop, then YouTube fucking heard everything that I was talking about in that other video that they pulled. What are you doing, silly? Well, you're actually comfortable this time. It's like she knows that I, want to be busy and have other things to do, so, because I know I usually don't want you to hold me, but I know you've got other things you want to do, so I'm actually comfortable this time. What are you doing? Cat butt. Tinker, you funny. What are you doing now? You're so silly. I love my kitty cat. You're cute. You're so cute. She's so smart. Well, now you don't care. I need to blow my nose. My
can't do that. I told you. Anyways, blow my nose. Obviously, I don't have a car, so I'm not running anything around anywhere, much less I have a car or any income. Oh my God, Mom, but I've been trying not to ask her for any more help. Anybody? 360-703-4962. My phone number. And then it's funny because as many times as I have put my phone number on Twitter and other things for somebody if they could help to call me, I don't even get prank calls that I know of. Maybe I have, I don't know. I need help. I need help to at least stop whatever's going on here long enough so I can find somewhere else to go. And then that's just it. If I had any rest, I would have been out of here already, doesn't it even? And then there's that. I don't know. My neighbor Thomas's home. Yeah, I'll fix it. I'll fix her potty again before she goes on the floor. Huh. It's no big secret now that I've been used as a fucking scapegoat and covering up shit and helping it look like they were doing something when all they were doing is covering their fucking asses, putting homeless and things they couldn't legally rent to people this entire time. You know, I'm sure you can imagine how many people are actually paying fucking rent here and their shit ain't even legal to live in. And then, of course, I get to help help everybody, help myself, help wonder how many people have come up missing throughout this whole program. Because, like I just said, on my side, how many friends, acquaintances that I knew from Laguna Beach and the same shelter, most of them are dead. Some of them because of natural causes, and then that's why they didn't quit doing anything they were doing, because they were already dying. want to say hi, ask me questions, have somebody that can help me, that can come into this light and, you know, anybody, or whoever you are, thank you for your visit. Susie Cat, again, I'm sorry if any of these that have popped in are you and that I haven't fixed that yet. I'm pretty sure I can get on my computer and do it. You know, it's one of them things that I can't do mobile. It was like a friend of mine, he got really upset because there was some setting that he couldn't change on Facebook. Well, it ends up that you had to go to Facebook on the computer to get to that, to change it. You had to be on the computer. I figured that out on my own because it was one of the same things, you know. It's like every time you uninstall and reinstall them, you need to, if you don't want people knowing right when you're on every minute, you got to turn that stuff off. And Facebook and Messenger, you have to do it separately. I love you guys, but I know you didn't need to know right when I was on every single time. Because in most cases, yeah. Like right now, I'm busy. I'm busy in here trying to think, how can I help me help the rest of us? Because I know that I'm not the only one that's been affected by the same fucking thing almost all my life. And then when my mom died, I was screwed out of getting her place because of whatever the fuck those people were trying to get. You know, leave me out and my family take everything. Well, you know, my mom actually owned the trailer. You know, I only got $1,500 for that trailer. For somebody to live. But, you know, the property manager there that had been harassing my mom for almost 13 years, you know, along with her husband, and then the sister across the street that worked at the pharmacy, and then you find out that, you know, they're probably intentionally fucking giving the wrong prescriptions to people. And then one of the van drivers, I just happened to mention, you know, please don't tell me that, because her husband is probably not alive anymore. And then here I ask her, you know, as I'm getting ready to go into town with them, you know, and then I did what my mom had been doing forever that day. I brought a small bag of garbage with me because my mom had never paid for the garbage service, which was way too much. And then I got lucky that the garbage guys even took everything that I had put outside the toilet, my mom's old chair that she died in, you know, her old bed that she had been replaced before I was born, you know. And then the only reason that they took it is because I made sure, you know, it had started pouring in the middle of the night, but I just happened to still be up to where I ran out there with a piece of plastic so I could cover, you know, everything up. Because that mattress probably would have weighed what? Yeah. They went ahead and took it all anyways. But that was the first morning I actually got to meet them. One of them just happened to live right next door to my mother at one of the places she lived in Kathlamet. He said I looked exactly like my mom. And then I'm just thinking, God, please, no, not exactly. Right? But even the head garbage man, you know, he was like, wow, pretty and smart. We don't usually like them like that. I know already. That's why I'm still single. It's fucked, right? I'm still single because I'm fairly decent looking, but I'm smart. And then all these guys that have come through my life and been like so amazed at how smart I am until it comes down to where it's like I'm attacking their manhood, and then all of a sudden I'm a stupid bitch. Hence why I'm actually really single still. I don't want to ever be with somebody who's not being fully honest about how they feel about me. Because that's all I have ever had in my entire life. They would come in and tolerate me. And then I find out that they're only tolerating me when they start abusing me and, you know, the name calling. And then, you know, where did you really go? You know, why were... Not one single guy I've been with hasn't cheated on me. My son's dad, I'm pretty sure, even while we were engaged, he cheated on me. Yay! And now here I am finally at the point where it's like I'm having a hard time even taking care of myself because of the environments that I've been just drugged through. And then trying to make the best out of it. Okay, I'm not supposed to fix this myself. I'm in a housing program. You know, and that's what I thought to begin with. I'm in a housing program. They're actually gonna fix this shit. Nope. You know, I signed a lease saying that anytime anything needed to be repaired, and then that's when I find out that Mercy House isn't doing anything except whatever the fuck they want to. Especially this Annette woman. I don't know what her last name is. She hasn't said it on anything. I've never gotten a card with it. She's one of those ones that's nice to your face. While behind my back, she's helping me get thrown out. You know, knowingly, and then to begin with, knowingly inspecting things and not fully inspecting it. And that started at Yorba Linda. The address that's still on my driver's license 4 apartments later. And then they actually were the ones that helped me with a voucher to go get it because they needed, you know, to have my ID on record. But now you know that my address hasn't been up to date on my driver's license, the last 3 addresses on the ID that you helped me go get. You know, you gave me a voucher to go get. And then my godmom actually flew down here. She might have been down here for another reason, like college, or, you know, to go to, like, what was it, I forgot what that really, really spendy hotel is at the end of North Laguna. Starts with an M. I actually applied to work there too, but of course I wasn't hired because I didn't speak Spanish. It's the same reason I wasn't hired at the subway across the street from the Friendship Shelter. But, you know, it's like, I actually cleaned the parking lot to the side of Friendship Shelter. I did such a good job that the city came in and painted the lines. They repainted the lines the next day or the day after. It was a couple days because I was still living there at the time. So I volunteered. You know, I've had my work taken advantage of, obviously, you know, because it Except now I get to wonder who at the friendship shelter knew whoever that worked for the city to say, hey, you should come paint the lines. Or, you know, who was there to have the power to tell the city to come repaint the lines because, you know, the entire parking lot had been clean. And, you know, I swept that whole thing, you know, with push broom. But a couple days after I did that, they painted brand new lines in the parking lot. I applied to work there too. I applied to work for the city's water department. Remember what I was saying at the beginning? When I talked to somebody finally after being there a couple weeks, I was like, yeah, I put in applications everywhere, and what did they say? You know, you didn't put this address, did you? 20652 Laguna Canyon, whatever. And I was like, are you serious? Because they were like, if you put this address, nobody's gonna hire you. And I'd already put applications in everywhere. Johnny Rockets, Hobby, the surf shop, you know, the Goodyear tire service place right across the street from the bus depot. In fact, one of the times I was there waiting for the van to come that picks us up to take us to the shelter. I saw one of my coworkers from AutoZone, you know, and I was still working there, but it was my day off. I just happened to see her park and then start walking, and I was like, hey! She's like, what are you doing? She's like, come on, you know, and I went over and I walked in with her to drop off, you know, whatever part or whatever she was bringing them, and then mentioned to the guy that, yeah, I'd filled out applications, you know, a couple times, and then he told me to go ahead and fill another one out. I didn't. And then even like a totally different time, I remember there was something wrong with a friend of mine's wheelchair, and I ran across to see if somebody would loan me a crescent wrench. And I think they did. You know, just long enough to go and help my friend fix her wheelchair and take it back. Anyways, Mercy House has been a closet program pretending to help, you know. Permanent housing program, I said it the day I heard that. I was like, yeah, probably until you you get thrown out, or they figure out how to throw you out. And here it is. So everybody I know, that was put into it at the same time as me, they're not here anymore. And then I was just saying about one of the friends, you know, while she was in jail, her boyfriend let me in. He was a gentleman, you know, and I still talk to them. But I went to call a bunch of people I hadn't talked to in a while, and everybody's numbers were different. But I managed to get a hold of her and ask her to have, you know, whoever else, you know, she could get a hold of me. But she called me back. And then when I even told her how many places I'd gone through, she was like, really? Like, what the hell? And I'm like, yeah. And then every time, it's only because I've come up with the information that what they were even initially doing was illegal. It's the only reason why I've been housed and moved 8 times is because I've proven every single time what they were doing to me was illegal. Just like what they're doing here, except now they're using against me. When I went upstairs, you know, I illegally trespassed to check on my neighbor because I didn't know what was going on except what I'd heard that day. that YouTube pulled the video for. Because of course they're in on it somehow too. You know there's a back page here. Or that's or our, you know, 18 and up wouldn't have become for 12 and up. You know, considering there's a YouTube Kids, why is the one, you know, this video I'm making right now, I marked not made for children. That should also tell you something. And then every reader on here, or the star card, that's how you would know. The day that they did that would be the day that anybody was tagged because they showed the star card. Number 17. 1 plus 7 is 8.
Thank you for your visits and your time.
If anybody that knows anybody that can help, please. Contact me, contact Mercy House. Whatever you know you can do to stop whatever, to help me have time to actually do what I need to do. Even I don't have anywhere else to go, but to have time, you know, an actual knowing of how much time I have. Without it being wishy-washy on what, because they've tried this before and then just housed me again. So I don't know. And it's the only thing I don't know anymore is this. But it's still eating me up to wonder, why is there padlock marks on the bathroom, the closet, and the front door? Would anybody like to tell me, you know, if you catch that, please tell me, you know. But you cannot say, because it's already been said by my case manager, to keep your children out of your stuff. Because that wouldn't explain why there was a padlock on the front door, you know, on the outside. Chain on the inside, padlock on the outside. And I said, I found out all of this after I felt like I already didn't want to be here anymore. I got weird vibes, strange, you know. Every other apartment I'd been in, probably weird shit happened, but not so extreme to where I felt like I could feel it. Unlike, you know, friends of mine literally coming over and being like, why can't I be comfortable in my apartment? But I come over here, and, you know, and then along with my voice and whatever, everybody falls asleep on my couch, you know. Like they haven't slept in days, on top of the fact that they feel comfortable enough to be able to fall asleep. Lisa, she lived right across from another person from the same shelter. I just happened to be in the middle on the side. I was supposed to go stay with her the weekend after they moved her out from the Normandys. And then next thing I know, I hear that she's dead. Because of whatever was going on, you know, whatever medications she was on, she actually passed out into her food. But Lisa, I don't know how accurate that is. I wouldn't doubt it. Because the only cigarette burn that I had on my carpet was because she came over and, you know, we were talking, and she was sitting on the floor and started to fall asleep and burnt my carpet. Their carpet, whatever. Not even a week after she moved, she died. That's her right there. This is her son. Because after she moved, he asked me if he could still stay once in a while on my couch so that it was easier for him to go to work. He was obviously her daughter's husband. That's her daughter, that's her ex-husband. And then I didn't even realize she actually made it out to me. She's a Cowboy fan, but you know the Cowboys won Super Bowl on my 16th birthday. To Seahawks Cat for 2017 from Dallas Cowboys Lisa. From Philadelphia Eagles Michael and Brianna. God, family of football, baby. We love you forever. P.S. Moved to Dallas. Can't read the rest. Lisa. Anyway, she's not here anymore either. Because they knew what they were doing. And then they were hoping that they would be enabling me to not be here anymore. And then, of course, every single time they kicked it up a notch. So now, with Starlight Etner, at the Paradise Palms, or whatever the fuck that place was called, in this place, you can't not fucking say that they weren't trying to do whatever to me. Like I said, I don't know, it still really confuses me why that fucking bitch at the other place, you know, flat out lied about me. I just happened to get up out of bed, and then all I can think about is how we were, you know, she was walking outside the building, and I was walking from my bed to the front door, but originally all I was going to do is open my blinds, but I figured I should open the door and see if I had a package maybe sitting there, and she just happened to come right around from the corner of the building and cross in front of me, you know, right as I had the door open. I said hi. She ignored me, and she you know, and then that's the farthest I even came outside, was to put my head out a little farther and say hi again, to have her keep walking and ignoring me. And then I said, well, have a nice day, and then it was this. She kind of barely looked back at me, fucking wait, and it's like, okay, so she's not but this was after she'd already been in my apartment a couple times, because the plumbing in the other, you know, the neighbor's apartment was backing up into my apartment, and then the plumber's like, oh, well, that's what usually happens with 5-point, you know, plumbing. Anyways, I took video as much as I could when I was thinking of it to keep, and then I even got video of, you know, and then this is where my case management said that when the plumber came, I screamed at him. I may have been talking loud, almost yelling. But then here they are fucking lying to my face, and then here's where shit would happen, and then it would come up on the paperwork to where the only other people that could have said this was my case management. Now this is how I know that they've been lying about me too. Casing my shit. You know, one of the moves, they purposely left most of my important stuff behind. Like all my TVs, Like my big TV. Here's a picture. Is there any of this that you would like to go back and get? I'm just like, what the hell? And then I get back there, you know, one of my freaking, you know, things for hanging stuff on the door was on the door with everything on it still, but it was on the other side. A brand new machete I just bought. It's been... And see, I'm a fucking crazy threat because, you know, the only way you would know I have this is by watching my YouTube videos. And me going like that. And then I have an axe sitting by my door that I just happened to pick up out of the road because some motherfuckers didn't care if their tools were strapped down all the way in the truck when they were done doing their landscaping. So I find it, you know, I found it in the road with a rake. And there's a fucking, I set the rake up outside the building to see when they would pick it. It sat there for like 2-3 weeks. Nobody touched it. No. No harmless shit that I would do to test these people, right? And then it ends up that beer can, I don't know if it was here originally, but I did find it laying, you know, and the only reason I could see it was under the railing for the patio. It already has a price tag on it. $25. That's what they wanted for this beer can. So at some point, somebody lived here that had it, or I don't know, that knew it was worth a lot, because if you go back in my live streams, it's rusted. You know, like if you had a brand new one, you might be able to sell it for almost $100. Blatt's beer can. I figured it'd been laying out there the whole entire time because I wouldn't doubt it with how the patio looked. And all the spiders, you know, that are still outside. And then, you know, now you know that guy that's supposed to be spraying for stuff doesn't spray for anything. Because, you know, I've had a big, huge spider. It's actually probably dead now, but I put a container over it to put it in something else. And I ain't got to it yet, so it's still probably sitting there. But it's probably dead now, so I don't have to worry about it escaping if I accidentally knock the container over. But how is it this big if this guy's sprayed anything? Because he hasn't. But he just uses tap water. Doesn't even dilute it. And then here I am being a lazy bum, not even wanting to take care of myself. I go to close my blinds and I just happen that there's some blonde woman standing out here talking to the old couple in 108. And then the woman, I just happened to hear something. She was out here with a dog one day. And then somebody else was out here and was like, oh, you got a new dog? And she was like, no, it's my niece's dog. I just happened to talk to them a couple times from my back patio, and the wife actually offered to help me do some laundry. I was just like, oh, okay, maybe we'll see how it goes. I have not even attempted to bother to get help. The wife's not out there anymore. The husband is. Yeah, there's the husband. wearing like a pink jacket. They were standing in front of the stairs over here, and then they moved. But my gut told me that they were involved somehow too. And then every time I'm outside, all these people just happen to show up. I know I actually look pretty good for what I normally look like, even though I've been kind of slacking, you know. Like I said, I was at the courthouse, had 2 gnats fly in my face. And my friend Tony should be here anytime. He still, you know, he comes when he said he was going to. One of my friends, he said that, you know, if that's the worst that you ever do to me, is like not show up or make me wait until I have to leave. He said, I'm okay with that. As long as, and that's pretty much the worst I fucking do to anybody is, you know, get hung up on myself. Lose track of time. See, and I just happened to notice them out there chit-chatting. Well, I just went out there to close my blinds, and oh, they're all standing at their door now, chit-chatting. But whatever. Majority, I'm still going through it like this because I can't walk like a normal person. And then, hey, you know, thank God I at least have a roof over my head, right? And then, as I've said, for how long? And then every time they keep, and then, oh, well, we fucked this one up too much. She knows it. On to another apartment. And like I said, the last 2, you take it or you're out of the program. I've taken it both times, and then having it just as fucked as any other time. Except this time, they managed to help me. I can screw myself over. Still freaks me out about what I heard going on upstairs. And they're like, oh, well, when you heard I did not hear voices. That was the problem. The whole scenario. I never heard any talking or anything. And then heard, you know, some miscellaneous music playing that I couldn't, but Sexual Healing definitely came on after that. And whether he started over halfway through or at the end, I don't know. I just know that it played twice. And that I knew what fucking song it was. Of course, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head who sings it. Shame on me, because I'm, you know, one of the biggest music lovers there is. There isn't really anything I won't listen to. I wonder how many magic words I've said where I'm, you know, gonna come back to this video and have it pulled to or restricted in certain countries. Even though it's not made for kids. I do know. Obviously, I've known the whole time, but I have to say I don't know because it's all illegal as fuck still. At least the very, very, very first officer that I encountered putting paperwork on my door was nice to me. And then this one allegedly said that he was just here to check on me. And then had copies of both the fucking, you know, the one for me, for them and them, and then them and me. Which a stop was obviously put on it. Now I'm waiting for the judge to fucking be saying, okay, now you gotta be out of here by then. But I don't know. Because now this freaking Annette woman got in my mailbox a couple times, which I've been told is illegal. You know, she actually put a note in there saying vacant. When... Ta-da! And I got her on live stream also admitting to it. Because when I said, yeah, somebody got in my mailbox and put this, and it was just like... And then here my friend even says, they can't do that. And I'm like, no matter how much they can't do that, she did it. This is a repeat fucking thing. Over and over and over again. They've taken their power and straight up abused it. You doing shit like that. So for all I know, because now I gotta go out and check my mail and see if this, you know, I didn't see who dropped off the paperwork the second day that said that I needed to be out the 25th. The first day shit was on my door, and you know, allegedly they're supposed to make sure it's in my hand, it's served. Well, now I get to wonder what this officer did with both sets of fucking paperwork that he had that he did not put in my hand. And then I was done talking, so I shut the door in his face because, you know, he bragged about also being alone, but he owns a house, and I'm just like, yeah, you had to turn a bunch of cheeks probably. Now I can't even imagine what kind of neato stuff that this officer has been involved in illegally, willing to go like this and be like, yeah, I didn't see or hear anything. Because when I told him that human trafficking was possibly going on here, don't care. That just tells me that he more than likely knows. Just like, oh, probably been to a freak off or two before he turned 18. And then just as, you know, kind of both as a smart ass and to know I asked him how old he was. Because I guarantee that he's not near as old as I am. But he did have to say, well, I'm over 21, so I can carry a firearm. Yes, that's how that started going. And then that's when I didn't even want to talk to him anymore. Because then I was like, well, I'm 44. I'm twice over what you need to be to carry a firearm. I don't have any, even though I have a BB gun sitting right here, which is it's a Daisy pistol BB gun. I don't know why it doesn't have an orange tip on it, but it doesn't. But I always leave it laid so that you can see that, you know, it's a BB gun. You can see the BBs. But anybody who knows me knows I ain't like that. Like what Starlet fucking Ettner tried to fucking say. Oh, she came out after me. Charged at me. You know, like a... I charge at you like a bull. A fucking, you know. And then that explains why, you know, I can go and actually talk to most of the neighbors because they're afraid of me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the video from when I went around the building and I popped in the office and I didn't even say a whole lot. They tried to say I yelled and screamed in the office when it's, you know, you go through the video. And then he flat out says on the camera, I'm talking to your case manager. Would you like to come in? And I'm like, no, you just keep talking to her. And then here I am regretting that. I should have at least gone into the office to see which case manager he was talking to, because as soon as I talked to my case manager, she's like, oh no, that wasn't me. And then this is also the one that I've already caught lying about what time she said she was going to show up, about seeing the fucking spider in the door that she looked right at, you know, while everybody was moving me in. Like this, looked right at it, and I asked, you know, do you think I need, and then, you know, I'm asking her while she's staring at it at least a foot away, do you think I need to Google that to know what it is? That spider is still shriveled up in a fucking terrarium. Now you know why they really want to throw me out, so they can throw everything away that might fucking, you know, any evidence that I have, but it's all still recorded right here at some point, because I've mentioned everything enough times to where no matter how many videos they pull, you're going to get the whole story through all of it. Go back in my videos. Same thing over and over and over and over. 8 times over. Except that I was supposed to be moved somewhere else, and then they told me that they weren't going to move me yet. And then, because they know they can't just, they can't do what they're doing. But now, like I said, it's been totally fucking overlooked. That to begin with, before anything ever even remotely started happening, to where I should have been even looked at to consider to throw out, is that fucking maintenance showing up without 24-hour notice and then offering me money. That's on live stream somewhere too. I put some makeup on, right? Da, 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 da. Isn't all those videos neat where you can watch all those guys, like, you know, do their makeup, give themselves a little facelift, put on wig, and then, you know, you wouldn't even know that they were a dude, much less, you know, a nerdy looking dude that lives in the basement of his grandma's, or, you know. Sorry, it's kind of cliche now, I know, but it fits, especially if you're over there, because, you know, you start learning that, you know, rent is so much there, and 92% of the country lives in the city, because everything you want and anything you want, if you want to live modern at all, is in the city. Like solar clear. They don't like how it's ran, but they don't want to move it because there isn't anywhere else to move. And then how K-pop idols, you know, South Korea, that's a perfect example of how fame is just another form of abuse. And now I've heard about like 5, 6, you know, 6 of these movies are, you know, so many fans, top tier. You know, there's no way if you were in Korea and watched any TV, you wouldn't have heard of any of these people, and they're all fucking dead because they were bullied to death. Because they fell in love with somebody, you know, because they showed for 1/10 of a second that they're just like you or me. And I can guarantee that everybody that bullied them probably were people they worked with. People jealous of them. You know? Like the newscaster that had the 2 female newscasters fucking harass her until she killed herself. But then odds are they might not have. And then that's another reason why I haven't really pushed to get a job, because that is also what they were hoping for. You know, for me to be working, need repairs, they could just skip me every time. Because I've only done it right to my face, you know. I just happened to be here. But see, the thing is also, I had no prior 24-hour notice. But also, the bathtub, it was that first thing that went wrong here, where, like, I was washing stuff and I had trouble turning it off. And I told my case manager I was not going to touch it until they came because of how hard it was for me to turn off. I didn't want to take the chance of, you know, not being able to turn it off again or having it break and then staying on. I'm pretty sure I live streamed it. They showed up and then she couldn't even turn it on. I waited over a week for them to come so I could even take a shower. And then that was also when I did the live stream when I went and jumped in their pool. Because I hadn't showered in like a week or two. But she goes, so did you turn it off? Initially, yeah, I turned it off and I had a really hard time and I told you I wasn't going to touch it again. Then the next time they were here, he waited outside while we waited for them to show up. He fixed it to the point of where it was leaking and you could hear it dripping before you even walk in there. And then she's like, well, that's no good. It took us like 10-15 minutes to call him back here to get him back, to have him do like a few more minutes of stuff. And then to say that, well, it needs a valve. And then I waited for a week or two for them to show up. And then they completely changed the whole, you know, the whole thing to turn it off and on, whatever. But now back to the initial first one that showed up and wasn't supposed to, and then lying about knocking on the door, but then calling somebody else to show up. And then he fixed it so I could turn it, whatever. He said the events have started getting kind of fuzzy because it's like fucking they on it. But he offered me money to see my chest with either the second or third time that he showed up. Without permission. Uninvited. After he'd done what he was maybe supposed to. I don't fucking know, because obviously they more than cover each other's asses. My feet are turning red. And even though my right leg is a lot better, I still got bit here and then 2 bites back here. Where the initial, you know, probably mommy bit me, and then this was all the, you know, the nest. I've been trying to make sure that my clothes don't touch the floor, and that I shake them out, and even, you know, go like that. You know, before I put them on, but I don't remember to do that all the time, because why should I have to fucking squish and make sure my clothes don't have fucking spiders in them every single time? But, you know, at least they were kind enough to put an urgent care right across the street because they knew what they were doing. Anyways, I need help. If there's anybody that can contact anybody to help me, that knows that we, you know, I can't be homeless after all this time. I know that. I was a spider. I think it's a silverfish though. And then that was another thing, you know, I don't go anywhere. I don't have the windows open. I don't have my doors open. And yet here in this very room, in the bedroom, I found like 3 or 4 earwigs crawling around, which tells me somewhere in this room they're able to come in from outside through the fucking walls somewhere. Because just like everywhere else too, the carpet finally gave in, which tells me that whatever, you know, the wood around with the nails that hold the carpet in place are dry rotted because they aren't holding the carpet in place anymore. Just like 3 apartments ago. But there's photos of that where you can see, you know, what they came in to replaced, and that all the shit right next to it was just as bad as what they replaced. And 6 months prior to this, I told my friend, what do you want to bet if I pull up the carpet, it's this and that, and I could probably stick my fingers right outside. Well, 6 months later, again, psychic, maybe. Psychics just, you know, just noticing things that people don't. But I've also predicted the future, so I know that that is possible too. Especially if you've already been there. Thank you. Thank you very much. So glad that I could be here to help everybody to the best of my ability, with no ability, except the gifts that God gave me. They're actually pretty something special because they keep wanting to get me out of here. And I hope I take myself out in the process, you know, and that they can just do whatever they want with my stuff. Because there's a lot of stuff in here I've never even opened, you know. There's antiques, you know. I finally counted how many Cabbage Patch certificates I have. I have 29 birth certificates for Cabbage Patch dolls that my fucking family stole from me. Maybe that's all they're after. Huh? Just that right there, huh? Because they know I have them. And all these people are working together, fucking, because they're all on the same page. They all probably attend the same real estate rackets, you know, fucking this or that. You can, what do you call those things, you know? But I don't doubt if you dug up this floor, whoever they had probably locked in the fucking closet, I'm probably standing on their body right now. Because I'll tell you right now, this floor is not flat. It is not level. And it humps right in the middle. I'm standing on a hump right now. In the middle of the floor. To put it another way, with what I know and what I've, you know, walking through here, if I was in the ranks of the police department here, I'd already had this place fucking raided. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Plural that if you'd like. Especially the night I heard that baby screaming when I was in the hot tub, and I've never heard any child, even in the hospital, hearing them cry because they have an ear and whatever. You could clearly tell that baby was being abused by a man. And not to mention when I you know, just happened to be I'd been taking live stream in the hot tub the whole time and went over there after hearing that and was standing right below their window. And I don't know what she might have been doing, probably taking a shower, and then comes out and like, why the and I only get to guess because I don't understand Spanish, but I understood enough for him to fucking tell her, why the fuck can't you just ignore it? Knowing what I know right now, this minute, if that had been, I would have been telling her, I don't give a fuck what the fuck, you need to leave now. That was the same night I dislocated my shoulder on accident in the hot tub. It's there. It's there for anybody to watch. While all these people want to just keep playing it and ignoring stuff, it's going to come back to get you regardless of what happens to me. Because it's that time. It's those times. And if y'all think I didn't know about that either, you're more than welcome to go to my public Facebook. It's only public because just in case my kids decide to one day maybe, find anything out about me, whether I'm here or not still, they can maybe make up their own mind about me on my profiles. And 47, 37. Anyways, I shouldn't have opened the door and even tried to talk to him. As it is, he took, like I said, whatever, I don't know. Yeah, I got 2 of them for you today. So you know what kind of crap this is. Cool. Neat when they come to do a wellness check on you and then talk to you like shit too. And I made the mistake of telling him, well, the only other is to barricade myself and then go to jail, I guess, so I can talk to somebody, no matter. And he's like, well, you want to go to... I didn't say I wanted to. Last thing I want to do is go there and, again, and actually be processed where I actually have to fucking stay there because I'm broke. They charge you to sit in jail here. Mm-hmm. By the way, yeah, where I'm from, they give you $100 a day to sit in jail. So if you have a ticket that's like $300-400, sit in jail for 4 days, it's taken care of. Not here. Prison state piece of shit, greedy money monger, California. Yeah, I've been calling the money monger state since after the friendship shelter crap. And then I've had somebody tell me I should be getting a hold of them right now. Why? Because, I was in Laguna Beach. I am part of how this program even got started because of how they were abusing their homeless. And then all of a sudden, everybody else got housed and in fully furnished stuff. Had beds, had couches, TV, everything fully furnished. I got thrown into something where the stove was tore apart illegally, and then, the part didn't even come until after 3 days that I'd been there. I didn't own any pots and pans yet, so I didn't even, have any reason to use the fucking stove, but, Mia, one of the head people in Friendship Shelter, was actually the one that fucking sat there and waited for my casement, and then we almost left because they were like a half hour or something late. So even from the very first place they put me in, it's been... Thank you so much. It all, yeah. I know it's all illegal what y'all are doing, but hey, thanks a lot. Proven repeatedly, especially in the last 2. Thank you so much, Starlet Etner, for proving what a nasty fucking person you are. Because now it's all I can do to fucking restrain myself to not go there and be like, here's your key fob. BAM! Now you can call the cops on me and you wouldn't be lying at all, would ya? And then even Mercy House case management isn't allowed back on that property because of that person. Fucking cowardice, nasty bitch. And then the last time I walked through that parking lot, there was actually signs in the carports saying, do not park backwards. Do not back in. Most of them were. And then most of them half of them, or maybe even over, no license plate. So why you backed in, you know, and then no license plate. And then here, same thing. Almost every single fucking car, you know, just in fucking like a little section. Freaking like, let's see, at least 6 to 10 cars in one little area. I pointed out to my friend, you know, see, backed in, no front license plate. Backed in, no front license plate. Backed in, no front license plate. I wonder why. Or do I have to wonder why? Nah. I have to wonder why. And I should pull my cards out now, huh? In fact, I'll do that here in a second, because I did just take out, I was watching somebody else's reading, and all I did was sit there and shuffle my cards that are in the box, where I can just open the top, you know, and they're sideways, so I just pull one out. And it's like I don't really know what to do, because most of my shit's already packed still. They did such a shitty job of packing last time. I'd be embarrassed. And then to know that it was almost like somebody purposely told them to fucking, you know, make sure not to do anything how they normally do it, because they want me all fucked up. Here's $100. $500. Whatever. And then to think how many people fucking were paid to fuck with me, who came in and fucked with me, and then decided that they actually liked me enough, or, you know, or knew that I didn't deserve that. I know that that's happened at least a couple times too, by the way. Thanks to Jippo Jigalock. So apparently, that's what he's hired for. That's why he was 3 doors away from me. Just like the last place I was, there was another one 3 doors away from me. 3 doors every time. They just happen to put people in places where I couldn't leave without being seen. I suppose that was an accident too, you know, unintentional. Couldn't check the mail. You know, I could go 2 different ways, but either, you know, I'm still in a corner. And the initial way is the same way every time. And then even that fucking Charlie Adams in number 27 you know? I was thinking about you all day. You didn't hear me? No, probably because you're low-vibing piece of shit. That one I was doing laundry in the laundry room. He was shit-faced and came fucking, you know, there's a security screen door. That's all there was. And he was like, so what's up with the Pepsi machine? I was like, you know, folding my clothes as I was pulling out a dryer. I was like, I don't know, the light's off, but it still works. And then he fucking, hey, can you let me in? And I just fucking sat there, you know, looking at the door probably just like this, folding my clothes, didn't say a fucking word, didn't move. And then he goes, well, I could just go get my key. And then, of course, you know, I let him in. Because then he'd have just gone and got his key and come in. As soon as he came in, he was like, right in my face. And then he also mentioned the R word. If I hadn't let him in, he was gonna R word me. Yeah. Yeah, by the way, that one told me, you know, his wife had just died. You know what he tells me? He tells me how she died. And that I was the only one that he actually told the whole story to. Obviously, it wasn't an accident. But now I checked my email day before yesterday. I found one piece of fucking mail giving me a repeat piece of mail of what, you know, was dated for me to be out by the 24th. Apparently, obviously, the 25th should have been in there with it because of how old it is, and that, you know, they were, what was taped to my door 2 different days was at one point stapled together. Now I'm waiting for this phone to die. What is it at now? Oh, great. because I plugged it in, it's never going to die out because now it's at 98%. Oh, I'm going to have to pull the battery out. I can still do that with this, right? It's totally non-compliant to me touching anything. Damn, I don't look like that anymore. Except it's wanting a key so I can, so that's telling me that I can't. Oops. I swear I do clean up knives, but then again, you know, I know that's part of why I'm being harassed, because they know I clean up knives too. So, and I get there, but there's a screenshot. So it worked for a minute until I did a couple things. All of a sudden it tells me that I don't work anymore. So even right now, as this fucking thing is, I wouldn't be able to use it to make an emergency call. Apparently this was tagged by YouTube because this is the one I've been using to take videos the whole time. So that I would have my phone, you know, usable while I'm still taking video. I swiped it open, got nothing. Don't want to do anything. And then apparently it's based on iPhone model because I can't open the case and take the battery out. And because it's got to take the SIM out, you need a key for the little thing to poke out, which tells me I can't open it to change, you know, pull the battery out. I have to wait for it to die, which is probably because this motherfucker, I don't know how, it's got a standby time of like forever. You saw it when I first showed it, it said 37%. It's been at least 4 or 5 days since I had it plugged in. Thanks a lot, Samsung. Assurance, SafeLink, whatever. Let me see how my volumes are, right? Pretty sure that's where they were when last time I said, let's make sure all my stuff is turned up so I hear everything, right? If anybody's feeling antsy to go back and look and verify that I'm saying what I'm saying is true, and most likely, you know, because I do that a lot to myself, you know, freaking, I'm pretty sure that I did that on live stream. Set everything up to be exactly the way it is right now. where I can hear everything. Texting my girlfriend, telling her that the little bit of money I have left that she sent me to do laundry initially with, part of it will likely go into my friend's gas tank. And I have no clean shorts. If I mentioned of all the 8 places I've lived, this place is the most expensive for laundry. And I don't know how the machines work, because as you know, if anybody that sees any of this has been through most of my videos, you would know that that's all rigged too. In way more ways than one. Like, granted, the fact that my EBT card has a cash side on it, and I can spend it fucking anywhere, anywhere that takes EBT. Generally, you can spend it, use it just like a fucking debit card. Why do none of these fucking ghetto ass fucking rental properties have it where I can use my EBT card in their fucking washing machines? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good question, isn't it? Huh, Governor Gruesome? He belongs in prison with his auntie and uncle. Oh, it's weird. Am I cute when I'm mad? I used to have people tell me I was cute when I was mad. Yeah, I'm cute when I'm mad. My cat's cute when she's mad too. And then, of course, given, you know, the iPad and then Android, what I found that came up in the first 1, 2, 3, you know, on the Google, made me hunt for it on here. You know, I put in the search bar exactly what I put into the search bar on here. This didn't bring up as soon as, you know, this did what I was looking for. Thank you for your visits. Popping in, popping out. See, if I was skydiving, I probably would still make it. You know, I wouldn't be so mixed up that I wouldn't, you know when to pull my parachute. I'm not brain locked that bad. But I'm brain locked just bad enough to fucking know that I'm not in a life or death situation at this moment, and none of this other shit fucking matters. Taking a shower doesn't fucking, my life doesn't depend on it. Fucking this and that. You know, you can live up to 40 days without food, 3 days without water. See me drinking water. They've turned me to this. And then here I was on lockdown, just like I have been before the pandemic started. So like when I went up to my mom's, I had spent nearly no time fucking wearing masks, because the only time I did wear a mask was to go in and out of the grocery store. Or, you know, to a doctor appointment. And I wasn't around people enough or employed to where I was having to wear a fucking mask all day. So then when I go to Washington, and, you know, next thing you know, it's like, oh, forgot your mask. And it's like, I'm still unvaccinated, by the way. Is anybody? Thank you, David Stein, for calling me back, like you said, and seeing it. And I should have been recording it, because it would have been totally fucking recorded that, you know, I contacted somebody, they told me they'd call me back. All my volumes are on. I said, please, and he said, I will. Thanks. Thanks a lot. So I guess I should email him, right? You know, I also have proof of everything I have ever fucking emailed to Mercy House about any of this bullshit. I have all of it. I've never deleted anything. 'Cause I know better. Again. But now I can't help but wonder, you know, how that letter got in my mailbox, because I'm gonna pretty much bet that freaking Annette or somebody from Mercy House stuck that in my mailbox. The 24th. And now I need to go out there and check to see if they waited to the, the next day to make sure the next didn't get here till the day, because I'm still not suicidal. And not even like this song either, it's suicide, suicide, when you say it's over. Good, bye. But this is a little different. And then I get to wonder if whoever upstairs was actually, whatever. And they were doing some bullshit on their fucking own, because it was almost like nobody fucking lived there. There's nothing going on there most of the time. I've been here 3 months. I almost never, I understand people work now to even get enough to pay fucking rent. Even if it's $2,000 rent, you're not getting paid near enough. You probably had 2 fucking jobs, who knows. But when the fact is that I'm not hearing what I should be hearing, even in that case, because of how often I sit here fucking quiet, just like this, by myself, not recording anything, because I'm just like, in my head, needing the quiet for a minute, because I don't need to be sidetracked. But here, no friends over to watch games, no this, no that, but yet, once I turn everything off, I could hear everything going on up there. And that it sounded wrong the whole time, all day. Anyways, I think I'm gonna stop the stream now. And Susie Cat, I promise I'll get to that as soon as I can. Actually, I have my laptop out there. I don't know if I'd be able to turn it on. It hasn't been plugged in for several days. In fact, the way I've been using it, it probably doesn't even hold a charge anymore. Freaking Lenovo. Yeah, I've seen 2 of them going back within the same week, and I just happened to be in front of Walmart the whole time, either coming in or going out to watch a fucking box going in. I'm like, yeah, I know that box. And I know why it's going back too, because they aren't their own tech support. I know what to do and not to do on these things to keep them working, and generally number one thing, stay away from pornography sites. But they know that it's just like free cocaine. It goes right to the same part of the brain as cocaine does, but it's free. Just bring it into the body in a different way through 2 different portholes instead of this porthole or that porthole, whatever porthole that puts in and takes out, in and out information, kind of. Earwax comes out, words go in, And it's like, they really are after us to not have us be happy. You can only be happy if you're like helping us be shitheads. Nefarious shitheads. Isn't that the opposite of benevolent? It's nefarious. Non-benevolent. Oh yeah. I'll pull a card and then I'll end the stream after that. And then there's somebody here in a white fucking Escalade. Fucking avalanche. It's an avalanche. It's a Chevy avalanche. They like running into everybody's cars and parking on top of them. See, that should be Tinkers though. And on the bottom, what we're would be on the bottom if I was to pull out the bottom. Oh, nifty, huh? I was watching somebody giving a reading, and it was weird because almost right when they said, you know, a tower, I accidentally knocked my computer tower over. Isn't that so cute? Anyways, I'm sure anybody that knows me personally knows that this is weirded out, depressed, you know, trying not to be depressed cat, trying to go, what the hell, again, you know, and then I freaking hate it, because as I think, what the hell, I already know every answer to all this shit, and exactly what they've been doing, but then I'm like, why can't I have been put in something up to code and left alone so I can find a job, so they can take, you know, I'm supposed to be paying them 30% of what's coming in, but you know, when I don't have anything coming in, but then hence why they've been trying to fucking kick me out of the program the whole time, because they aren't able to take from me. But I just happen to be one of the ones that, you know, is the reason they even started the Mercy House program. Thanks a lot, Laguna Beach, gay capital of the world. See that very first officer that put, you know, the paperwork on my door that I actually, you know, caught, you know, walking away after he taped the shit to my door. And I was like, are you okay? No. I thought that might be the same officer, but I don't know, because like I said, they've some of this police, it's like I should be able to recognize that, you know, notice who was here all that day, you know, and then the one that friggin', you know, where I just barely, you know, like my hand was barely even that far outside my door when he yanked me out. He grabbed my hand and yanked me out of my apartment. And then see, and then that, here it is. Here's number one of why I was wishing that I had started recording this before I answered the door, except that I thought it was one of my friends showing up, because I told him that, you know, and not to mention that night there was no woman present, so I shouldn't even have been touched, you know, much like when they're supposed. And then he said, I don't think that's accurate. I said, well, it's nice. And that is where my putting, well, it's nice to know that you don't think. So maybe you should go and you should be finding out now if, you know, I'm right or wrong, because you only think I'm right or wrong. Because as far as I know, after I was fucking literally felt up and wrongly at 14 years old, because one of my friends had started some shit, and then we went to another friend's house and he'd been in and out of juvie, so they just knew where to go. That was 2 years after 6th grade when I had, you know, taken DARE. My DARE officer just happened to show up. I had a pack of cigarettes and he broke them all in half and said he was disappointed in me. And I was like, you're not my fucking dad. Anyways, I can't remember if, you know, I don't think anybody got taken to jail or juvie or anything, but it was still fucking bullshit. But I got felt up. And I could tell it was a little bit more than what should be. Well, not even a year after that, the law was passed that a woman had to be present. I was 14. I'm 44 now. So what the fuck is this? I don't think that's true. But obviously now, because also he either had his camera unplugged or off because the light was off. All of them that have been to my door have had cameras on them, but it's a 50, you know, there's a light on, and then here the other 4, no lights on. So we got one motherfucker that's recording everything while the others are just, you know, purposely didn't charge their stuff, have it unplugged, what? Because then, you know, after I go to, you know, the courthouse to try and go to whatever this court date was that everybody told me I didn't need to go to, pulled over. You know, he decided to go to the DMV, and then he didn't even need to go there, but we get pulled over. You know, yeah, I blew some kisses at the camera, because that one's probably on, right? The dash cam. That one is always on, right? And then he's like, knock it the fuck off. And then he called me a bad enough name to where I got out of the car, and I was gonna leave. Right as I was contemplating getting out of the car, though, saw 2 police going this way, another one go this way, and then he freaking kicked it up a notch. You know, I'll just get out. I'm gonna walk. Well, right when I get out, and I'm looking back in the, you know, get out. There's a female officer walking towards us. So I'm just like, great. Obviously, I'm not going anywhere. And then she going, well, what's the problem here? And I'm thinking, before I start fucking this and that, and she thinks she's just gonna wrestle me down and put handcuffs on me, I got back in the fucking car. But then I ask her, she's standing here right next to me with this thing. The light's not on. She tells me it's recording all the time. Why do I have a feeling that's a fucking lie? Got enough officers to prove that that's a lie. When it's off, it's most likely not recording, even though the motherfucker's wearing it. My friend's here. He knocked on the door. I don't know if you could hear that. You know, asking if anybody can help, explaining the whole situation.
Some more of the things for you.
You know, those are so good.
I'm glad you like them.
Anyways, my 2 viewers, thank you so much. If either of you or somebody I know that knows anybody that knows anybody that knows 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon. If you can get to Kevin Bacon to help me. Because we got Stir Echoes crap going. I mean, tell me, when you look at this carpet, does it not look like there's a mound there? It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Mm-hmm.
So I just realized that fucking sitting here, and then, you know, I mentioned that, you know, whoever was probably locked in the bathroom in the closet is probably buried right under my fucking feet. Anyways, I'm done with this live stream. What do you want to bet? Anyways, thank you for your visits and your time, and I'll probably be back early tomorrow, because now